Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Hope you all are doing extremely well. So in the series of Java interview questions, here I am going to discuss another interview question. So this is also one of the most asked interview question. So the question is difference between abstract class and interface in Java, right? So we are going to have a discussion on the same. But before proceeding further to this video, make sure that you have watched my previous video regarding abstract class so that you are having a proper understanding what abstract class is, what abstract methods are. So I provided the link for the same in the description. So make sure to watch that video and then you can just hop on to that video. Right, before proceeding further, if you are new to this channel or if you haven't subscribed my channel till now, then guys do consider subscribing my channel. It will really motivate me to create more such content for you, and I'm sure the channel will be helpful for you. So with this note, let's get started with the discussion. Now you know that in Java, to achieve abstraction we have interface as well as abstract classes. Now you must be thinking that okay, which one to choose, right? Either I should go with the abstract class or interface. Now it depends on the cases, right? Let's say if you are not having any idea regarding the implementation, all you know is requirements in the sense that you know that these functionalities I do want in my application, right? But you are not having any idea that how you are going to implement it. All you know is requirements regarding the functionalities, but no idea regarding the implementation. Then you can go with the interface. On the other hand, if you are having if you are having partial idea about the implementation, somewhat things are clear. That's why in abstract class we do have abstract methods as well, concrete methods as well, right? So if you're having just some idea regarding the implementation, then you can go for the abstract class, right? Now on these bases, on the basis of methods, variables, instance and static blocks, constructors, we're gonna differentiate them. The most basic one is the thing that how to choose which one you should go for. I have just specified. So for methods, now by default you must be knowing that in the interface by default method is always public and abstract. So you don't have to specify. By default a method in an interface is going to be public and abstract, right? That's why interface is also known as what? It is also known as pure abstract class. This is also known as pure abstract class. On the other hand, if we are talking about the abstract class, so the method present in abstract class, it's not required, it's not mandatory that they should be public or abstract, right? They can be of any type. On the other hand, in case of abstract class, it's not mandatory that the function, that the method will be public and abstract, right? Even you must be knowing that in abstract classes we do have concrete methods as well, right? So this is not a mandatory condition in case of abstract class. Now as we were discussing this, so let me tell you that due to this we cannot declare methods in interface by using, we have specified that this method should be public as well as abstract. So we cannot have, for methods we cannot have private, protected, modifier. We cannot have final, static, synchronized, native, and strict FP, right? So public and abstract only we can have. For in the place of public we cannot have private or protected. In the place of abstract we cannot have final, static, synchronized, native or strict FP. Okay, whereas in the case of abstract class there is no such condition, there is no such restriction. Okay, now if we are talking about the variable thing, so the variable that we do have in interface, they are always going to be public, static and final. They are always going to be public, static and final, right? So this is about the variables that you will be having in the interface. Whereas in the case of abstract class, the variables need not to be, it is not required that they should be public, static and final. So this is the thing that I specified. It means that we cannot declare the variables that we do have an interface with these modifiers. What are those? Private, protected, transient, transient. Transient, what I'm mentioning, sure, because you must be knowing that interface cannot be instantiated. So if it cannot be instantiated, it is not going to implement serialization. So that's why transient can also not be used. And even volatile. Now volatile also won't make sense, because you know the type here we are having the variables as final, right? So it doesn't make sense, right, if you are using volatile along with that. So we cannot use private, protected, transient, volatile modifiers along with the variables that we do have in our interface. Now for here, for abstract class, there is no such restriction. There is no such restriction. In the interface, we cannot declare instance as well as static blocks. This is not allowed. If you will do so, you are going to get compile time error. Whereas in the abstract class, we can have instance and static blocks that won't cause any problems. Constructor. So in case of in case of interface, we cannot declare constructor. Whereas, as if I have discussed in my previous video as well, where I have discussed about abstract class, we can have constructor in abstract class, and when this constructor is going to be executed, because you know that abstract class cannot be instantiated, but as I discussed in the previous video, that compiler itself is going to instantiate it. Programmer cannot do this, but compiler will do. So at the time of execution, or at the time of execution of the child object creation, when child object creation will take place, because the child classes that is going to extend our abstract class, in that time our constructor will be executed, right? So I hope that is clear. One last thing to mention here is that in the case of interface, it is mandatory to do the initialization at the time of declaration of variables, right? So when you are declaring the variable in interface, at the same time you have to do the initialization in interface. What I'm discussing here, variable. So when you are declaring it, you have to do the initialization at the same time. In case of interface, if you are not going to do this, you will get compile time error. Whereas in the case of abstract class, it is not required to perform the initialization when you are declaring it, right? So these were some of the differences between the abstract class and interface. I hope that you must have understood, and now you must have got an idea how to, you know, determine which one to go with, right? You should go with interface or abstract class according to your own requirements. So this is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have found this useful. If it is so, do consider subscribing my channel. Thank you for watching, everyone. Keep learning, keep preparing. Bye bye.